21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Most people accumulate knowledge and insight to get on in the world and get more senior, get more successful, trying to learn more and more things. If you're stuck in that paradigm, you won't go anywhere near your potential. Leadership, in the true context of leadership, is to be able to see what's possible and be able to lead to make the possible happen without having the answers. Being able to mobilize people into action without knowing necessarily how you're going to get to the outcome that you know is there to play for. That is where true leadership comes in. It's not about accumulation of knowledge and directing people. My name is Oddi Aasheim. I am a Norwegian and was born a problem solver. I loved solving problems, became an engineer until I tried to change the way Shell worked in the UK way too many years back before my beard was grey, and making sense of the reorganization. We looked at it, we redesigned it, and we launched a new organization and nothing changed. So the big question in life become, what is it that has people choose to do what they do? And why do people choose not to do what they're not doing? Because it clearly is not connected to just making sense and making logic. Even to the extent when I became a strategy executive with Accenture, getting people to agree with us and sitting there around a table as a team and saying what they were going to do and not do. And then somehow they ended up doing something different again. So this inquiry into what is it that actually has us do what we do and don't do what we don't do? That's what we need to crack if you're going to be a great leader. And that's where we're taking First Human into the world of, in real business conversations, in real business settings with real strategies. How do you mobilize people into action to get the outcome you're interested in, especially if you're playing for something that goes beyond what you already have the answers to? If you're an entrepreneur and you want people to catch on to the brilliant idea you have, most entrepreneurs have something that is new to the world, better, different. And it takes a lot for somebody else to truly get what you offer, especially in an early stage. Trying to get rational and explain kind of the beauty of what you've thought out isn't going to win them over. Where the conversation needs to go is to create a view of their future that they can stand in and now see what could their future be as a result of having interacted or bought from you or engaged with your business. So it's about speaking in the present tense around, imagine yourself in this situation. Wouldn't you want to be in this situation? Versus talking about what you can do for them. Then you will really have the hook that says, oh, that's a future I want to stand in. That's a future I'm interested in. Tell me. For example, They worked with a biofuels manufacturing company, take fatty deposits from cooking oil and turn into ecological fuels. And they had taken on this company, the current leadership team, and were in a turnaround situation. Problems, lots need to be fixed, things didn't work, and they were stuck in a world when they tried to kind of get solutions in place. And they realized they were never going to get anywhere because the future they were living into was trying to have fewer problems. That was the context they were stuck inside of. However, working with them, once they could see that a much more powerful future to stand in that was attractive was, we have a successful company. We have a company that's growing, it's successful. Then suddenly they could see that the actions they needed to take and what they needed to ask from their people became completely different. How they solved the problems wasn't just in service of kind of getting rid of problems they didn't like. They started to operate from what needs to happen now for us to be in a place where we make money, where we can acquire, where we can update the facilities, where we can get new customers. And once they operated from there, interestingly, their clients and customers now wanted to be part of their future because that was an exciting future, rather than deal with people who were just there to solve problems as a mental state. Let me have something that is probably quite unfair, but hopefully will make you think, which is, nobody is interested in the beauty of your solution. Nobody is interested in how clever it is. Nobody is interested what you had to go through to get to where you are. In the end, what people are interested in is what's now possible for them that wasn't possible before. They might come to you speaking of a problem they have that they want to solve. The only reason they have that problem is because something has gotten in the way for them to get the outcome they're after. Hence, it has occurred as a problem. But in the end, they don't want to get rid of that problem. They want to have the future they signed up to happen. And that's where you need to connect with them. The beauty of solving the problem, the beauty of your solution, all of that is very enticing. It's irrelevant. How can you bring their future back in play? That's what's going to sell. First Human is a company that looks to the only place where you can shift something in the world, which is with yourself, with your team. We work with leadership teams, executive teams. We work with people from anything from the International Olympic Committee to Accenture to Heineken, top level companies to come to us because they see that if they work with us, they will get a capacity to really go and explore what's actually possible for a company, especially if you're tired of doing a little bit better every year, if you're tired of hitting percentage targets and number targets, but you go like, why do you keep improving? Why not just figure out what's possible and what's it going to take to get there? And in that process, we can help people overcome the barrier, which is, I can't see how I could make that happen. The fact that you can't see it now, number one, doesn't mean it can't happen. And number two, doesn't mean you can still be the perfect leader for making it happen. It just takes an elevation of leadership and a little bit of a new skill set that can be learned. It is not either born with it or not. That can be learned. One of the places where I get to test myself and practice what I preach is as the chairman of a global medical charity called GAFI, Global Action for Fungal Infections. And as you probably have already reacted, that's what we are dealing with on a global basis. People go, what? It's a really new conversation. Like an entrepreneur, you need to get a new idea out there for people to catch on to. And the fact that people don't realize that 4 or 5 million people a year die from fungal infections, that more AIDS patients die of fungal infections, more than half of AIDS patients die of fungal infections and TB around the world is unnoticed. So being out there and shifting the context in which governments operate, which organizations operate, the people dealing with these patients operate, to get them to realize that this is an issue and do what's needed and shift their behavioral patterns, how they work, so that we can diagnose and treat these people, is a real test of what it truly takes, but it's on a global scale. And wow, it's draining, but also rewarding when you're finally doing something that connects with you as a person. So, Gaffy. And then as First Human, of course, kind of two things to say about kind of why this is so rewarding. Number one is almost every human being that we interact with, whether they're in a big commercial organization or otherwise, when people really get in touch with what they want to make happen in the world, they want to make a difference to others. They want to change the world for a better place. Almost universally, when people withdraw into just want to make a living, just want to earn a salary, just want to have a financial payout, that's often a retrenching game. Kind of almost all of us want to do something great for the world. So wherever First Human works, universally, the company or the organization get in touch with that and have that as a core part of what they want, the future they want to create. And also we work with people who do this directly. We support anything from head teachers to health professionals to other people who are out in society doing it, local council, as well as working with a huge organization. That's what has this work be so rewarding. Human beings are fundamentally good, except maybe for two with slightly strange conditions. But almost all people, when they look at themselves and they feel they can admit it to each other, especially in a company setting, they want to be up for something great in the world. And when they look at each other and say, finally, we have this conversation about what we truly want in life, and they realize as a group, they're up for it. They just never gave themselves permission to have that conversation together. And things can take off because the energy that gets generated is enormous. If you want to find out more about us, if you're interested in joining our executive network where we get executives together to talk, or if you want to explore some of the things that could happen in your place, get in touch with us on firsthuman.com is the website. Go there, or you just write us an email, hello@firsthuman.com. Check us out on LinkedIn. We're easy to find, and whenever you communicate with us, it goes straight into a personal mailbox and you'll get a reply, probably from myself.
"21st Century Entrepreneurship" with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.